Well, hello everyone. It is time to talk about money, specifically about lightworkers and money, because there is something special. There's a special message from money just for us lightworkers. And so I wanted to bring that to this forum today because I have I've seen a lot of people talking about money, and a lot of light workers who are, have a lot of judgments against money and belief systems about money. And so it's time to sort all of this out and get some clarity. So thank you all for being with me today. Please share this video so that other light workers can join. This is a really important topic and we need to really get clear on this. Okay, hey Liz. So the first thing that I want to share is that money has been talking to me a little bit and asking if I would share this, that it's not all about darkness and shadow. Money has a light side. So we think about polarity. We live in a polarity universe. This planet is part of the polarity universe. So money being part of our systems here, of course, it has the shadow side, and it also has the light side. And most times, it's horrible to say, but the majority of light workers that I see are talking about money as evil, money as something that corrupts, money as something that they don't even really want to engage with because of what they have seen with money and how the systems of money work and how it's been destructive in some cases, it's been misused, etc., etc. You get the idea. So what I want to bring through this transmission is that we as light workers need to connect with the light side of money. Okay? Money has love and light within it, as well as the convolution that's there. It also has that love and light aspect to it. And that's what we as light workers need to connect to. So I do want to talk about the convolution of money a little bit before we talk about the light side, because yes, we do need to acknowledge that in a lot of cases it has been misused. And the powers that be, or the powers that were, however you want to look at it, they have used money to control, to suppress, to keep us stuck in these systems. And so I understand the desire for light workers to move out of money systems, to not even be engaged with money systems at all. I get that. I understand that. And yet, we can't get there until we, as light workers, are integrated with money. And what that means is when we can get to a place of non-judgment, when we can get to a place of acceptance, when we can get to a place of neutrality around money, then we're ready to move on to the next steps. So you guys, thank you for all your comments. I will read all of them after I do this video. I want us to kind of stay on track and on point with what I'm sharing, but please keep sharing your comments because they are important. You're a part of this conversation. So, okay. So when we want to create systems without money, the first thing we need to do is become integrated with money. And that means accepting it. That means dropping our judgments, changing our belief systems about money. A lot of light workers I see have belief systems about, if I become prosperous, or if someone I know becomes prosperous or wealthy, then they're going to turn to the shadow side. And they might not use those words, but that's really the belief system, that they're going to become evil just like money if they start to have money. And you guys, light workers, please, let's dissolve this belief system. It's not the money that makes us evil. It's about what we do with it, our choices about how we use it. And I feel really, really strongly about this, because if we are going to move on to systems without money, then we need to know, we need to accept and be in non-judgment of it, and be clear within ourselves how we're going to use it as we receive it. And that's the key. You are responsible for you. You're responsible for how you use it. And if you start judging other people and how they're using it, you're going to get yourself in trouble. I mean, that's where we get ourselves in trouble, when we bring in the judgment. And so, for example, if you see a light worker making a lot of money through their light work services, through their channeling, through their massage therapy, through their, selling of spiritual products, through whatever, if someone's making $1 million doing that and you judge them for it, ooh, watch out. I mean, just be very aware, because that judgment comes back on you, and it brings us all down, honestly. When we judge how other people are using their money, what they're doing with it, that brings all of us as light workers down. And so we need to release those belief systems around money. We need to release the judgment. And it's on that person how they choose to use money. It's not your business, honestly. It's really not your business. So let that go and be responsible just for you. Okay, so I was talking about if we want to move to a system and cooperating on this planet without money, first we need to integrate it with ourselves. And what that means is getting to a place of neutrality. So when I speak about neutrality around money, what I mean is you're okay with receiving it, you're okay with giving it, you're in acceptance of it, there's no resistance to it. It is. It's part of our system. It's part of what's here on planet Earth right now. It's, part of how we operate and how we move. So just that place of neutrality, just, being okay with it, not resisting it, not coveting it, but just, it is what it is. It flows in, it flows out, it's part of the flow. It's part of our life here. That place of neutrality, once you get there, then you can begin to work with systems, creating systems without money. But if you're in a place of resistance towards it, if you're in a place of judgment of other people having it or you having it or whatever, you're not ready to work in systems of exchange without money, because there are still unresolved issues within you that you need to look at. I mean, imagine if we're not integrated with money, we try to move into systems that don't have money, we're not ready for it. What are we going to do with our unresolved issues? They're still going to be there if we want this utopian heaven on earth, using equal exchanges and everything, but we have all these issues unresolved within ourselves. That's going to come up, and that's going to blow apart the system. So before we try to create that, we need to be in acceptance and in a place of love and neutrality with money. And this is what money was saying to me the other day was, I have this very loving, light aspect to me, and I want to connect with the light workers in that love and light aspect. So think about the law of attraction and how what you have within you, the vibrations, the thoughts, the emotions, the codes, the information, what you have within you is what you can magnetize from the external. So if you have that love and light within you, you're going to connect with that love and light aspect of money. And this is where we have gotten in trouble in the past, because we have the elite, the people in power, the people that have a lot of money, who have misused money and created the convolution around money. Because of what they have within them, they're attracted to that part of money. And so that part of money has amplified and expanded on this planet, and that's why so many light workers have resistance to it. And especially us sensitive empaths, we feel that. We feel the convolution part of money. And so now I'm asking you as light workers to step up and to feel the love and light part of money. Okay? We're the ones who are going to change the money system. We're the ones who are going to change how we relate with money, how we use money on this planet, how we eventually dissolve money on this planet. And in order to do that, we need to connect with the love and light part of money, and to accept and be okay with that there is that convoluted part of money, because we live in the polarity universe. So that's how it is. There's going to be that shadow part. And so to integrate the shadow, to accept the shadow, just as I talk about doing your inner work with your shadow, it's the same with money. Money is just another thing, right? So integrating and accepting the shadow part of money and connecting with that light part of money and amplifying that. And Lightworkers, when we do this, then we can change the entire system. We infuse money with our light and love. We infuse the money system with our light and love. We make choices about how we spend our money that create the heaven on earth that we desire. So instead of supporting certain things, we use our money, you know, that voting with your dollar concept, we use our money to support the things that are moving towards creating heaven on earth. Okay, so I did take notes for this one because I had a lot to say about it. I wanted to make sure that I covered everything about it. Okay, so I want to talk a little bit about releasing belief systems and belief patterns about money. This is a big one because we have been indoctrinated with certain belief systems. Belief systems about lack, belief systems that money is the root of all evil, belief systems that the love of money is the root of all evil. Whoa, okay, take a deep breath and think about that one for a second. The love of money is the root of all evil. I've heard this a lot. I've heard Lightworkers saying this, you know, read it in the Bible, whatever. Heard this a lot. And if you think about that, if you truly believe that the love of money is the root of all evil, where does that put you? If you want to be a light worker full of love and light, and if you want to love all that is, what happens if you love money? You're then at the root of all evil. Okay, so we really need to transmute these patterns and belief systems, because look at what it's doing to us if we don't become powerful with this. If you believe the love of money is the root of all evil, if you love money, that makes you part of the root of all evil. So that's fairly significant. I'm saying that lightly. And when you can really transmute that and understand that if you love money, you are not evil, you are not at the root of evil, you are becoming powerful in what you do with it and how you use it, that transforms everything. That transforms yourself, that transforms the money system. And you know, there are many other belief systems that we have around money. So I just invite you in this moment to take a look at yourself and what belief systems do you have about it? Do you have belief systems about lack? Do you have belief systems about deserving and worthiness? Do you have belief systems about how it will harm you if you become wealthy, or how you might turn evil or go to the shadow side if you become wealthy? You know, those things that you might not even be consciously aware of, but might be there. And we need to, myself included, we need to look at these things, because right now we do live on this planet in a system where money is used as a means of exchange. And you know what? There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. And there's nothing wrong with light workers receiving money for their spiritual service. There's nothing wrong with getting a job and receiving money for your service. It's the system that we live in now. And so to become completely in acceptance of that and integrated with that, so then we can move on to the next piece where we create systems of equal exchange, not needing money. But until you know your value and worth, you're not going to be a powerful contributing member to that kind of society. So if you have issues around your beliefs about your worth, your knowing of your value, if you still aren't clear about that, then that's the inner work you need to do before you can move into a system without money. Okay, let me just check my notes, see if there's anything else here that I want to highlight. Talk talked about that. Max, is there anything else that I missed that I didn't cover? I got Max here in the hanging out with me.
What's that?
Is there anything that I didn't cover? Oh, you're gonna join in. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Hello.
Anything you want to add?
So, in essence, money is, at this point in time, it's a system of agreements, of exchange, of sharing material creations. Mm-hmm. And in that pattern of money being the root of all evil or being a tool that corrupts, in that pattern, in that judgment, in that energy, mm-hmm. you're literally saying only those who are evil will have money.
Yeah.
And so, in a way, you've given away the power of your agreements of exchange to those who you deem evil.
Yeah.
That's literally the energetic construct that has been sort of accumulated. And so, by the way individuals have used money and have gotten others to judge them, has enabled them to do it more because of that exchange in energy. Yeah. And so in dissolving this, you're dissolving that pattern and transcending how money is attracted to those individuals, and then it is easier for other individuals to have that flow of energy. So
let's talk about greed a little bit. Do you have anything to say about greed and money? Because there are a lot of judgments about light workers, if they receive money for their services, mm-hmm. then spiritual information that's free, if light workers start charging for that, then they're judged as greedy. Do you have anything to say about that?
Well, the energy of greed is specifically to continuously have more without the appreciation and honor of what you are receiving. Right. If you receive abundantly, that isn't necessarily greed.
Right.
It's the energy and engagement with what you're receiving. So
at what point does it become greed? Like if I start making $1 million from my spiritual business, is that, at that point, is that greed? Like, is there a cutoff point? Or, where does it cross the line?
Again, it's how much gratitude you have for what you're receiving, how much you're honoring what you're receiving. And so, in a way, hoarding money is not exactly honoring it, because you are stagnating the flow, and the flow is one of the sort of parts and functions of money. Yeah. And so, if you're engaged in that sort of constriction of it, then that would be sort of that energy of greed.
So it's not about the amount of money. That has nothing to do with the greed. It's about your energy with the money.
Right, and also your expression with the money.
Yeah.
So you can have a lot of money and you can save it for a specific purpose and then use that to assist others or to assist a particular creation that truly resonates with your heart and soul, and that is a very productive and expansive way to interact and express with money. Yeah. But if you're constrictive and you're hoarding it and you have like uncertainty and fear, and it's a lot about the energy, engagement, and intention and expression with that you're utilizing money for.
I'm glad you're saying this, because this is part of the clarity that I want to bring to the light workers about money. Is that has nothing to do with the amount of money you make. It has nothing to do with the amount you charge for your light work services. It's about the energy you have with it, your intentions with it, your gratitude, like Max said. These things are what's important as you become more and more prosperous. And that is my intention, obviously, for all light workers, is that we do become wealthy, we do become prosperous, so that we can create heaven on earth, so that we can invest in free energy, so that we can clean up the air, clean up the waters, take back the power. Because let's face it, right now money is an exchange in that power equation. money is one of the elements of that equation. And so if we as Lightworkers take back the power, think of the amazing things we can do with it. And if we connect with the love and light aspects of money as we take back our power, we can change it. We can turn this whole thing around.
Right. And in a way, it is individuals wielding their power, because they are expressing that they're agreeing that money is for exchange by participating with exchange with money, and then they're simultaneously agreeing that they shouldn't have it because of that association of. So there is an expression of their power. It's just the way it's been sort of convoluted in the belief systems.
Yeah, and I should clarify, when I talk about power, I'm talking about the power of the love within our hearts. Like that, for me, is power. That's true power. I'm not talking about the convoluted power. So I should just clarify that when I use the word power for me.
Right, and then there's also the aspect of judging yourself, whether you have money or you don't have money. There's also patterns around that. So being valuable if you have lots of money, or being not valuable if you don't, or if you judge your success or failure in life based on
how much money you have.
Right. And so there's patterns around that to be cleared for many people as well.
Yeah.
That, and whether you have a lot of money one day and then you don't the next, like,
it's not a reflection of your value and worth.
And it's not a reflection of your power. It's simply the external experience, and you can change that just as quickly as things can leave, they can come back, right? Yeah. And so it's having much more fluidity in that flow and creation with money. Yeah,
and that's part of the neutrality, letting it go, letting it come to you, letting it go, that flow, Yeah. So, did you want to say something else?
Well, and also I guess one more thing to mention is to ask the love in money to expand, to ask it as a participant.
I feel that.
Right, because just because we're doing this side of the energy, there's also, at least having that recognition and the participation of this system and energy with you, and so that allows more space for that attraction to occur.
Beautiful, thank you. Yeah. Now, I did want to bring up another topic. This is the topic of the RV, or the GCR, the money reset, or the global currency reset, that a lot of people are talking about. See a lot of there are Lightwork groups on Facebook even about it, and what I've seen is that a lot of these Lightworkers are saying, when this happens, I'm going to do all these things. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with, creating your projects and, envisioning and dreaming and all of that. But the problem comes in where they stop at that. Instead of starting those creations now, they've put all of the power onto when that happens. And so if any of you listening, watching the replay, etc., if you are part of that, where you're invested in the RV and you're waiting for, big money to come in, please, please, please do whatever you can now to set your dreams and visions into motion. Don't wait until you have millions or billions of dollars or whatever it is. Do it now. Start getting it in motion now. Do it on a smaller scale. Whatever you need to do to get that in motion now. This is really important, because this RV thing, the whole thing really is about personal revaluing within ourselves. That's what this whole thing's really about anyway. So when you start to revalue yourself, revalue money in your own life, as we talked about with, tuning into the love and light aspect of money, when you do that and you put your plans into motion now, that's when we actually see the revalue, in my opinion. Whether an RV event happens or not, we create it.
Right, and the event may look nothing like you imagined. Right. It could simply be that with how you've transmuted and transcended these patterns and belief, those who have money would feel inspired to share because the difference in energy.
Exactly. Yeah.
Right. And so it doesn't necessarily have to be a specific structure or event to that occurrence.
Yeah.
It can simply be a rebalancing of energy.
Yeah.
And then those individuals connecting with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to speak to that because I see a lot of people holding themselves back and waiting, and that's not how it works. That's giving your power away. I'm inviting you to take your power back in the here and now and do whatever you can. And, you know, I've done a lot in the past 12 years without a lot of money. I've done a lot. I kind of look back and I'm like, wow. I keep thinking I need all this money to like do all these big things in the world, and it's like, you know what? I've done a lot without money. So, ooh, what about gambling? You know, that's according to your heart and your guidance, Carl. Again, there's like releasing all judgment around stuff like this, releasing projections, releasing belief systems. If you feel called and guided to do it, that's up to your heart and your guidance. That's, you know, I can't tell you what to do with that. Now, if it's something that is taking your power away, if you're giving your power to that, if there's like energy of hope and reaching. you know energetic reaching, if this happens I can do all this stuff, then that's not powerful. So remembering our conversation about what true power is and taking action in the here and now of what you desire to create, not waiting, you know, to win, you know, the jackpot or something like that. But if you've received some kind of guidance like, hey, I'm, you know, going to buy a lottery ticket today, if you get that guidance, then, you know, who am I to say don't do it. It's when it starts to take your power away that you want to look at it. If it becomes an issue of you're giving your power to it, then yes, that's an issue. Yeah, let's get some crystal balls so we can see what the lottery numbers are.
And so in navigating all this, there is a certain diligence to pay attention to the subtleties of any sort of patterns around greed or judgment that may start creeping in, because this is sort of how this happens to individuals, is that they come into money and then these unresolved issues come up, or they start patterning certain things. And so to be diligent on being aware of your own energy and presence and engagement with it as you move through this. Yeah.
That's exactly what I was saying earlier. We have to do our inner work around this. We have to know, you know, what our belief systems are. We have to like dig into that subconscious to understand any patterns that have been holding us back, any patterns that we haven't been aware of before that are affecting our relationship with money. So, yeah. So, thank you for joining me today. You're welcome. If you guys want more guidance, more coaching around being powerful in your life, we are doing our Unlock Your Power retreat here in Sedona in October. And so I invite you to look at that page, creationtemple.com/retreat, to see if you feel called to attend that and be part of that. It is going to be very powerful in the sense of that true power, unlocking the love within your heart, activating your spiritual gifts, learning to be more powerful in your everyday life so that you are not a doormat anymore. You release your victimhood. You make powerful decisions for yourself in your life. All of that stuff is going to be happening in the October retreat, Unlock Your Power, here in Sedona, October 19th through the 22nd. So I definitely invite you to check out creationtemple.com/retreat. See if you are meant to be here. Tune in, check in with your heart. See if you are meant to be part of that retreat. I love you all. Thank you so much for joining me today. I will look at all of your comments, whether you're watching this on the YouTube replay or Facebook replay. I'll look and respond to your comments, and I appreciate the conversation. Thank you for being here with me. I'll see you guys in the next video. Mwah.
Bye.